2 years later, you played in the championship team, 99-2000. Big team, big win. How did you fare in that game?
I ended up playing, over the time, played three. My first year, sort of when I got there halfway through, we ended up winning the flag that year. So it was, I suppose, a good choice for me getting down there. So we lost that championship. Every one that we lost, I sort of did okay in, especially with the bat. I mean, not 20 or 30 runs or whatever. But the one that we won made a duck. Got caught off my toe at slip. Little spinner came on, hit the toe. So I missed the edge of the bat. So I got shafted by the umpire. Bowling wise, I sort of, reading through the report, you sort of look through and a few edges over slips and a bit unlucky early doors, but didn't really make an impact too much, apart from taking a few good catches. So I know their skipper, Scotty, who's a big, powerful hitter, Runga de Silva ended up taking 5 from that match. He was fantastic. And Gamini Pereira took a couple as well, the spinners. But I was at mid-off and Scotty's, he was before he'd scored, so he'd only faced a few balls, just lasered this. If anyone's ever played against him, they know how good he is off the front foot and how hard he hits the ball. And he's nailed this one flat and just put the hands up, and it's almost knocked me off my feet, but held on. So we got him for a duck. And, you know, still my fond memories of that game is being under the catch that won it for us. So once again, Runga, the game situation, I think they needed about 12 off the last over, 2 wickets in hand. I think Runga got a wicket first ball. So they're 9 down. Number 9 gets a single. The guy at the other end's on 60 odd, not out, batting well, hits the next ball out for a 2. So, and maybe another 2, I'm not sure, but it got down. They only needed like 6 or 7 off 3 balls. And if you think about that now, you know, that's their home basically.
Yeah.
But anyway, this bloke's launched one out to me. I was at deep mid-on, and everybody that's played cricket, you know, when that catch goes up, you know, a little bit of nerves and things like that. It's the only time I've ever been under a catch, and the relief, as soon as it went up, I just thought we've won.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe the inner confidence. I don't know whether it was fatigue, because it was just a pressure-sapping game. You know, it ebbed and flowed, and they were on top, we're on top, and it just, nobody ever got too far ahead. So right down to the last over, could have gone either way. And he's knocked it out to me, and I thought, fantastic, you know, we've got it won. And there was on the oval, there was this wicket with matting on it, and which was right behind me. And I was more concerned about tripping on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've sort of come forward a little bit, and I was probably, everyone else thought I've come too far. It's gone over my head. And, you know, stretched up and took it. Normally you'd take it there, but took it there. I was always planning to do that. And I just held the arms out. And before I knew it, Shane Day's come tackling me from the side and, you know, rolling on the ground. But it was just, that game was so cutthroat, you know, nobody was ever in front. It was just a constant battle and such a draining experience that such a relief to win it.
You played in, that era was phenomenal. You know, the strength, you've mentioned a couple of the players, Gamini and De Silva, but it had strength all the way down. What do you remember most about that team? What did you really enjoy doing in that team?
Well, the good thing about it, I mean, we had our 20th anniversary last year of that championship win. So I was sort of reviewing a lot of the games and Jeff King, who at the time used to do weekly match reports, which were fantastic. You know, there was a bit of humour, a bit of sledging, but it captured the feeling of that particular match. And reading through there brought a lot of memories back. And we won a lot of games that we had no right to win. And that was just on the back of every single player in that 11 had a belief in each other. Mm-hmm. We had some superstars, you know, the two Sri Lankans, Gam and Rungo, were always potential match winners. But, you know, when the established players do well, generally you're going to do well. But it's the games that every good team will have when those guys fail, you know, who's going to step up? And we always had someone that would step up, you know, either with the ball or the bat. We were just never defeated, no matter what the scoreboard looked like. We're never defeated. And looking back, you know, I'm sure that belief that had been created through the season really helped us in that championship final, because at any point you could have really just thought, we've lost this, we've done it, and dropped the bundle. But we were just always in it right to the end because of that belief. And that was on the back of every individual playing their part at some point during the season to win a game. If you look over that season, you know, there's 2 or 3 games that we've just pinched.
Every great side expects to win, don't they? And it's come through with so many of the Preston sides. They just expected to win. They had that belief. Just talking about yourself, Kevin, to win the club championship 10 times is just astonishing. You know, from 2002 to 2013, 14, and in that period, of course, you've won the batting average. Your best year was 527 at 44 in 2013, and your bowling was pretty consistent. You know, you're always getting wickets around 12. How would you describe yourself as a cricketer? You know, were you a fierce competitor? Did you rely on your skill, or was it a combination of all of those things?
Yeah, I think, especially early on at Preston, and it's you go down there, and it was, you know, I don't think it's anywhere near as combative or tough now. It's still skillful, but, you know, spirit of cricket's diluted a little bit of that nastiness that was, you know, part of it when I got there, and I just embraced that, and I loved that, you know. So in the field, you know, and I look back now and I sort of cringe at some of the stuff that I did. And, you know, I wouldn't do it now or encourage other kids to do it. But it was just, you just got caught up and you just wanted to win. And it wasn't, and it, for me, I suppose it was the be all and end all is to win, you know, and you do anything within your power to do that. And I think as an early age, playing, I know when I was playing at Royal Rovers, when I was playing seniors, one of the captain there, my mate's brother, Mark Cleary, he said to me, if you get out, we're going to lose. If you don't get out, we're going to win. So he's sort of putting a bit of pressure on me. But I suppose I carried that through. So I always had the pressure on me that if I wasn't going to make the runs, we'd lose. Or if I didn't take the wickets, we'd lose. So I'd always be busting my gut to do that. So occupying the crease. And I knew, I mean, sometimes I never got a bat. You know, the guys up the order would make the runs. I would fail and would still win. But that's the mindset that I had. So I never would be leaving it to anyone else. And you know, if we needed 100 to win and I was in, you know, some people might think, well, if I get us to 80 and then the rest of the guys will get us home, I've got to get them all. So that was the mindset I had, and I loved, you know, being. I wish I could have bowled quicker than I did, because I just loved getting in people's faces and being aggressive and bowling bounces, and that sort of left me as I got older because of pace and whatnot. But yeah, I just loved that. Love that fight, and I love when people had a go at me, and you know, that just made me more determined to knuckle down and get runs or take wickets.
I mean, clearly that spirit led to your incredible consistency. Mentally strong, with good skills. What sort of batter were you?
I remember in juniors, I reckon I had 3 shots at a cut shot that I reckon I could, if I hit well, I could get 2 or 3. So if it's small ground, I might get the boundary. I had an off drive that if I was lucky, I could get a single. I could get a, you know, so I didn't hit it very hard. And the only scoring shot I had to hit a boundary was a leg glance. Well, I was using the pace of the bowler. So I like to think that I was reasonably correct with my technique. I was always a big candidate for LBs, sort of stepping across a little bit. That was a consistent issue through my career. But I think I evolved as a batsman as I went, and I think I got better and better and developed more shots. I didn't have a pull shot until I went to England, and I made a decisive effort to being on a smaller grounds, facing slower bowlers, to work on a pull shot. So I brought that into my game, but I'm against quick bowlers. I never took them on. I was just always sort of working off the hip, getting out of the way. So the medium paces I'd take on. Wasn't quite as fearful about getting hit, but I just thought, because it wasn't a natural shot, I look at guys that have a natural hook shot. Doesn't matter how quick you're bowling, they're gonna hook you. But that was never an instinctive shot of mine. But I love the cut shot. You know, I played the ball along the ground most of the time. I started towards the end. My career started developing a lofted shot, which sort of helped my game, because I did hit along the ground and the field would come in and then go over, and then they'd open up gaps. So that helped me score some runs towards the end. But early doors, I loved running quick. I loved taking the fielder on. You know, there's a few guys along the way that I've run out because of, you know, just, you know, being so focused on running up and down. And so I really loved the fact that I was quick between the wickets, and I'd pinch, you know, 10, 15 runs a game.
You mentioned England. You had 5 or 6 years in England at various times, without going into, you know, the history of each club and that. But what did you take away from playing in English cricket over 5 or 6 years? What did it do to your game? Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, it's just the amount of cricket. It's different conditions. Mm-hmm. So the wickets are different. The ball swings more. There's different types of bowlers that you're striking. There's a lot of guys that just sort of come up and just lob it on a length. And because of the wickets, you've either got to come out and take a risk and try and hit them over the top. So that's a type of bowler that I never faced before. You'd always strike really, really good bowlers or really good players as the overseas player for each particular club. But just having that pressure, knowing that, you know, you are the main overseas player, the responsibility's on your back. You've got to do the job with the ball and do the job with the bat. Yeah, just playing the volume of cricket. You've got to have a good technique. You can't sort of swipe across the line because of that slowness. And it also helped me with swinging the ball and you know, developing other aspects. I was a natural outswinger. but really had to sort of change and really work on an in-swinger. So that sort of helped being in those conditions that favoured swing a little bit more. So